Hello, I am Addison, and this is Cannabis ClipNotes with Sara Salazar. Sara is the founder of BrandRave Marketing, a woman and minority-owned creative branding agency based in Las Vegas that helps businesses bring their brand to life through curated promotional products, intentional design, and creative brand solutions. She brings nearly 2 decades of experience in sales, marketing, and project management, with a career spanning cannabis, gaming, manufacturing, higher education, and professional services. Sara has worked with dispensaries, ancillary providers, casinos, and startups, helping them build trust, create impactful experiences, and strengthen their brand presence. Before launching Brand Rave in 2023, Sara managed client programs and production teams for large-scale merchandising initiatives, earning a reputation for reliability, creativity, and problem-solving under pressure. She studied business administration at the University of California, Riverside, where she built the foundation for her career in client relations and brand development. She founded Brand Rave with the belief that branding should feel intentional and collaborative and people focused. Today, she blends creative vision with operational expertise to deliver more than just promotional products, offering businesses thoughtful solutions that make their brand stand out across every touch point. Sara, thank you for being here for the third in your 4-part series. Now, I think one of the most important parts of branding that people don't even comprehend is storytelling, because branding is storytelling. So, talk about storytelling through merchandise. Oh, but without breaking the bank.
Correct. Well, thank you again, Addison, for that reintroduction. And as you mentioned, so far, I mean, we've talked about legitimacy and the importance of first impressions. So now we're going to dive into your identity and how your merch can tell your story and reflect your values, which is extremely important, again, in the cannabis industry and in any industry overall. Now, 1 second. So every product you put out into the world says something about who you are. Again, this is tying to the storytelling. If your company is about sustainability and that matters to you, so think about plant-based items, reusable items, eco-friendly, that helps you. If your company's community focused, which let's admit it, everyone in the cannabis industry is. Let's go something simple with rolling trays or stickers again. Anything that can travel and spread your message. Again, that's community. If wellness is part of your DNA or something that's really your focus, think about journals or calming items that can reinforce that. And I think overall, you and I have talked about how in the industry, we don't always see that, or we don't see that people prioritize professionalism, but that is something that matters, especially if you are the person meeting with the investors, especially if you have them coming through and stopping by, checking out your operations or whatnot. If you're presenting a pitch deck, something, when it comes to professionalism, you want to think of staff apparel, such as branded hoodies, embroidered polos, or hats that are signals of consistency. And again, you're staying, that you're here to stay. And I think functionality is a huge part of this too. You can always tell a story, but you also have to be smart about it. So smart spending really comes down to choosing those items that people will actually use. Think usable items. I try to emphasize that because I'm the type of person that, yeah, I'd love to sell you the most expensive item on my catalog, or the most expensive item out there. I'll help you develop whatever you need. But at the end of the day, it doesn't have to be that way. You can always look at the smaller items too. And let's just go something with, that's typical in the industry: lighters, grinders, smell-proof bags, water bottles, keychains. Those are something that get used daily. They are something that travel with the person. So again, think of all the impressions you're getting, and how you're helping, or how you're presenting your story out there in the wild. And anytime someone has any type of apparel on them, or carrying a keychain, a lanyard, or busting out your grinder, it's another brand impression. So again, you're investing in all these brand impressions, and it's not just online or digital. Now you're going again to your physical touch points. So again, functionality, and again, it's not about spending more. It's really choosing merch that works for you and your company, and at the end of the day, the story that you want to tell. And here's a couple of examples of what I mean by that. So again, I like to use examples about trade shows because it's something that everyone experiences, I think, in a lifetime. So you can see everything from trade show booths to the giveaways to tote bags, and really, when you go to an activation, what are people doing there? Are you pressing your own hats, or are you sampling new products? Just things like that. But something to keep in mind is you want to stay cohesive, and again, you don't always have to drop a ton of money to do so. That shouldn't be your flex. It's really when your merch is consistent and aligned and really true to your company. You're building loyalty and credibility at every touch point. So here in the presentation, you'll see that I've done something where to the left, the cohesive branding, colors, logo, everything looks professional, everything. And yeah, you want to, if you have the full colors, if you have everything, if you want to have that pop, and your brand really screams that, really is about being that loud and fun brand, there's ways to develop something for you. But what you want to avoid is the items to the right, where it's just a bunch of random items that scream, hey, I didn't have time, or hey, this is what I could fit in my budget. Again, there's always a way to figure out and fit something within your budget without ending up looking like, the random stress balls, or random coffee mugs, or, a foam finger. Again, if that fits in your brand, great. But if you're looking for something that's more aligned to you, again, just kind of keep that in mind. And you want to stay consistent with your branding, with your colors. Brand guidelines are a huge help. So that's something, again, to keep in mind, that if you don't have them now, it might be something that is worth looking into to help you continue to develop the brand and grow your brand. So again, keep that in mind. Don't flex money if it's something that works for your company. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. You'll see that in the next part, that I break down simple ways to use the best, or get the best use of your budget. But and then how you can turn your ideas into actions, or if you have ideas that maybe are not available in the retail world yet, and how we can help you develop them. Again, there's so many ways around it. And that's the fun part about merch, that it's not a one fits all type of thing. It's really just everything fit to your brand. So,
well, so what I like about doing the Cannabis Clip Notes is that I learn something from every one of them. And so to break with form here, Sarah, so when you're talking about storytelling, through your merchandise, so we think of the client, and we'll use a dispensary as an example, giving out their merchandise at a convention or a conference, an expo, and that person taking them home, whether it's in the state where that dispensary is located or not. but each piece of branded merchandise that I have ever gotten from any of the events I've attended, when someone goes, "Oh my gosh, so this grinder is so and so," I'm going, "Yes." But then I have a story to tell too. The story about where I met them, my conversations, interactions with them. So the story continues. And I
Right.
also, my neighbor was, so we're within walking distance of several dispensaries, and he has a favorite one. And I said, "Why is this your favorite one?" He goes, "Well, they give me stuff." And I'm going, "Like what?" He goes, "A lighter." He goes, "The other day they gave me a grinder." And because he's convincing me that this is the one that I should go to. And that's how the conversation started. He's going, "Yeah, you need to go to blah, blah, blah." So that, in regards to storytelling, the story continues. So your merchandise
Correct.
needs to be the vessel for that good story. And I am
Right.
so sorry I just hijacked your cannabis clip notes,
No.
but it was like,
So,
oh, wow. Yeah,
and
because
you're so right. Because
yeah.
like I said, I travel a lot for work too, and wherever I go, I kind of try to visit a dispensary or find out about the products that are popular in the area. And but if I go to a trade show, I'm bringing back, I'll use Chicago as an example. You know how the industry is there, and I do work with a few clients in Chicago, and I'm a dork like that. I'll grab their swag and I bring it home. And yes, I use it. Even I have a master closet of just samples that I have, right? But at the same time, I'm also a consumer. I'm also a person that
Mhm.
travels, and I bring along that tote bag, or if it's something really cool, where I think it was the Chicago Flower Expo, or yeah, and their tote bag was really cool, and I was like geeking out over it because I'm like, oh my god, the design's pretty cute, and so again, now that's traveling here in Las Vegas with me. And it's not, and I you have the bud tenders that attended that, and people here that know the industry, they'll look at it too, like, oh my god, maybe that's something worth exploring. And and it just starts something. It's a whole chain reaction that starts from one logoed item. And you don't really think about it until for me, for example, I work in the industry, so it clicks every single time. I geek out over it, so I'm constantly observing and looking at logos and whatnot. But for the everyday, a person walking out, again, you're starting something. It's that first impression, again, going back to that, and thinking, getting them, getting that thought in their head, like, hey, there's this brand, I'm gonna go check it out, or this is something going on out of state, it might be worth looking into it. So again, it just starts a whole chain reaction. It's just crazy how one little logo can make a huge difference, and just your brand can make a huge difference. So yeah,
Oh,
you didn't hijack the presentation. You did.
well, you all can see all of Sarah's 4-part series. It will be available on all the Women's Cannabis Chamber of Commerce's social media, on our website, on YouTube, and also wherever Sarah decides to post it. Thank you so much, Sarah, and I'm looking forward to your number 4,
Awesome.
action steps for growth. I think that's really important. Now that we planted the seeds, it's action. Action makes a difference. So thank you just so much. And